Hello there. Yes, I'm talking to you, the viewer, whoever you may be. Maybe you don't know who you are. If that's the case, I feel with you, because I've often wondered who I am. Anyway, I'm speaking to you, and one thing must be said. I don't care about your skin color, gender, body, sexuality, political stance, nationality, or religion. I don't care what you believe in, who you love, what you've done or haven't done. No matter who you are, no matter what you think, no matter how you look, it doesn't matter to me. You are warmly welcome no matter what. And I hope you'll enjoy this YouTube series. Through several videos, I'll share with you a number of stories. Stories about how I perceive the world we live in and about my life. Maybe you'll find wisdom in what I share. Maybe it'll offer you guidance in your life. Maybe what I will say will mean a lot to you. Maybe it won't mean anything to you. Maybe my stories aren't for you. Maybe they are. Who knows? I don't. All I can do is wish and hope they reach you. Hopefully in your heart. Hopefully on an intellectual level. Hopefully you like my stories. Hopefully they can help you in your life. Hopefully they awaken some feelings or thoughts. One of my many wishes is that they reach you for better or worse. If they don't reach you, what's the point of me even talking to you? My greatest wish is that what I tell you can offer some guidance in your life. My second greatest wish is that it can inspire you. Inspire you to follow your heart and dreams. Yes, I know it's incredibly cliché, but that's my intention. I want to be sincere with you. I want to be real with you. I don't want to hide myself. I've done that before and it was incredibly painful. It felt meaningless. It didn't feel right. It was confusing. Most of all, it felt incredibly empty. So I won't hide anymore. I'm just trying to be myself. It's about a version of me seen from the outside, but more important, it's a version of me seen from within. And that version has changed throughout my life. It's a pity I can't speak with you in person, because I'd love to know more about you and your life. I'm a very curious person, you see, and I believe you know something I don't. I believe every single human being on earth knows something I don't. Because we all experience the world differently. I know that every individual on this planet carries their own unique experience, knowledge, and memories. I believe those are deeply valuable because they can help us understand who we are and who we might become. If we communicate clearly with one another, I believe we can connect on a deep level. If we truly listen to each other, if we truly care for one another and our planet, if we act together and cooperate for a better world and a better life for all, I believe we can achieve great things here on Earth. If we manage to look beyond our differences and work together for a better existence for everyone. Maybe you think differently, and if you do, I'd love to talk with you about that. That's one of the many reasons I'm publishing this video, because sadly, I can't speak with you personally. Based on what I know about the Earth, I know that we believe in many different things. I know we have many different perspectives on life, both philosophical and religious. My belief is a belief in nature. This kind of belief is called naturalism in literature, and it's linked to scientific thinking and evolutionary understanding. The relationship between humans and nature is also present in many different belief systems, like Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, and Hinduism. All our religions and worldviews tell us something about nature. They give different perspectives on life, and in one way or another, they connect humans to nature. Even though the beliefs vary, there are similarities and nuances. Nuances I won't go too deep into, because I don't have an in-depth knowledge of all the world's religions. I don't have a personal relationship with each belief, but I have my own, just like you have yours. I listen to my mind, my body, and my soul, which I experience as something nature has given me. Maybe you see it differently. Maybe you believe God gave you that. Or maybe you call it Buddha, Allah, Jesus, or something entirely different. Whatever you call it, it doesn't matter to me. You have every right to believe in what feels true to you. What I want to highlight is this. No matter what we believe in, we know that we all come from the same source through evolution. We are all Homo sapiens. If we look far enough back, we share one common origin, nature. Without it, we would not exist. And it is this deep shared connection to nature that binds us together, across beliefs, backgrounds, and worldviews. What saddens me about life on this earth is that we so often fail to see past what separates us. We forget that we all belong to the same human race, that despite different nationalities, skin color, religions, or cultures, we are, at our core, brothers and sisters. I tear my hair out when I see all the war and suffering in the world. It frustrates me to know that many countries profit from war, that there are economic systems dependent on conflict to function. It makes me angry when we value money over life. Not just human life, but the lives of animals and all living beings on this planet. I'm furious at how we exploit one another, how we deliberately create addictions to products we don't really need just to make money. This applies especially to technology, but also to many other goods, like medications, that causes addiction and suffering rather than healing. We produce far more than we need, and our society has become infused with a throwaway mentality. Sustainability, reuse, and long-term thinking have been pushed to the background. Yes, there are communities and individuals trying to reverse this development, and that gives me hope. But overall, I see a world where far too many people take what they have for granted, where many turn a blind eye to the consequences as long as they themselves are comfortable. They don't think about the generations that will come after us, and that, I believe, is one of the greatest weaknesses of our time. All of this harms nature. We litter and pollute this beautiful planet we live on, and it seems we lost respect for both each other and our surroundings. The capitalists' ideology has become far too dominant. Money and consumption are prioritized over human connection and the health of nature. It feels like we're no longer a community. Each person sits on their own little hill, mostly concerned with their own life. As long as they're doing fine, it's easy to ignore how others are doing or how we affect the planet. If we continue in this direction, we will eventually no longer have a planet to live on. And we have no planet B if we don't take care of the Earth. In my view, there are far too many humans that no longer take care of each other or of nature. That's one of the main reasons I wanted to make this video and an entire YouTube series. I want to make a difference. I want to help open people's eyes. And I hope more people will realize that we need to change direction. The way we live today is not sustainable. The individual focus has become too dominant and capitalism has grown too powerful. Of course, this doesn't apply to everyone, but the way I perceive society around me, we are heading in the wrong direction. It is time for change. My hope is that we find a path where violence, hatred, and greed are no longer the solutions, but the remnants of a time we have outgrown, a path where we can start believing again, not necessarily in the same things, but in the good, in the idea that humans carry something precious within, something that can bloom if it's nurtured, that life, with all its mystery, is worth protecting and honoring. Such a society does not rise through control, but through care, by lifting those who fall, by making space for meaningful work and meaningful relationship between people, by remembering that every life is a gift, not a possession, but a calling to live in balance with ourselves, with others, and with the world. Freedom, true freedom, is not the absence of limits, but the ability to carry one's responsibility with humility. It must not be mistaken for escape from obligation. It must be earned through insight, through love, through the will to grow. When we one day find that, we won't just have peace, but understanding. Not just safety, but wisdom. Then we will no longer search for a better place, for we will have begun building it from within. Now you might think I'm trying to convince you to believe in some sort of utopia. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I want to awaken your belief that there is goodness in the world, that the society on earth, with all its nations and differences, holds enormous potential for growth and improvement, that our lives can become much richer and more meaningful than they may seem today. But to get there, we must be willing to face resistance. We must endure discomfort for the sake of progress. We don't need to hurt anyone, physically or mentally, to build a good life. We will stumble along the way, but we will also rise again. Every mistake carries the possibility for insight. I, by no means, have the answer to how we can solve all the world's problems, but I do believe we need to shift our focus from the individual to the collective. That doesn't mean we should stop caring about individuals, but we need to see each person as part of the community we all belong to. Even though I carry hope, I'm far from naive. I understand that the world is complex and that we are living in a time that feels difficult for many. Wars are raging, and many of us are left feeling powerless on the sidelines, quietly hoping it will all come to an end soon. I realize that I don't fully understand the inner workings of politics or the hidden forces that influence global affairs. I know there are no quick fixes, and that it's unrealistic to believe humanity will one day unite as one to solve all our global challenges. And yet, that's exactly what I dream of, that we will come together. I dream of a world where we join our resources and build a sustainable society, a world where war no longer drains us of lives and resources, a world where we can trust each other and where manipulation and distrust no longer dominate, a place filled with peace, trust, and calm. I don't think I'm alone in these wishes. I believe many people long for a reality where we show one another respect and where we honor nature and everything it gives us. So what can we do? We can speak up and say clearly that enough is enough. We can demand change from the politicians who represent us. We can protest, demonstrate, and rise up together. If enough people raise their voices and say they've had enough of war and destruction, it will eventually make a difference. If we stand together and speak up for nature and the environment, those in power will have to listen. That's the very reason we live in a democracy, so we can influence the direction our society takes. But again, I'm realistic. I know that many countries rely on war, conflict, and fossil fuel extractions to keep their economies running. I know that switching to renewable energy and sustainable solutions is often seen as too expensive. I know that many people and many nations hesitate to change because they are comfortable with how things are today. But that shouldn't stop us from dreaming, from trying, from believing that change is possible if we truly want it. My thoughts and beliefs have grown out of the experiences in Norwegian society, through life experiences, relationships with people, and time spent in nature. Ever since childhood, I had a strong desire to share with others, and over the year, a deep belief has taken root in me, a belief in nature as a force that gives life direction and meaning. I've learned that life can be like a bed of roses, light, beautiful, and filled with joy, but also like a struggle in a storm, challenging and unfair. That is true both for individuals and for society as a whole. That's why I believe it's crucial that we learn to stand strong when life storms around us. Often it's about changing perspectives, being able to find the light even in the darkest moments. To me, life is an endless journey of learning, where our experiences builds us up layer by layer. No one goes through life without scars, but we can learn to carry them with dignity and use them to grow as individuals and as a community. That's the belief and perspective I want to share, because maybe my experiences and reflections can help someone else find strength, hope, and direction in their own life.